So hopefully everyone is awake and not in a food coma. So I'll try to keep my energy up. I was asleep out there for a hot minute, if you saw me. Sorry. They came out and they're like, "Are you okay, sis? Do you need like coffee?" I was like, "No, ignore this." So I have been in the industry for 13 years. I am now a team leader. Wasn't always. I was an independent agent for the first decade or so. I am also an investor, so I spoke here last year. Thank you to Dylan and the agency team for putting this all together. Airport rides, everything. I can't even imagine what that takes. But from the beginning of my journey, I did not think like an entrepreneur. I was just like, yeah, real estate, sure. I don't know. It sounds fun, right? And I spoke last year about the power of working with investors and creating investors in all of your clients. And then I became one, which, go back to last year's video. You can hear all about it. I also own a transaction management company and a Sounds Better Studios. No, that's the name of the company. It is a membership-based podcast recording studio, and we did just open a co-working space. Thank you, Dylan, for the flowers. I wish that you guys could be here, but it is a amazing, inspirational space to host events and stuff, so make sure you check it out. And I work with luxury and some light commercial work. More importantly, though, I am a single mom of a beautiful 8-year-old girl, and I love all things with feathers and fur. So I'm a sucker for them. Like, so busy, and I'm like, damn, there's a dog on the road. Shit. I have a cat now, like as of this week. I don't know how to cat, but I'll take it in. So please don't ask me to, because I will. There are realtors who will call me, and I still have one of them to this day. So please try not to. So today I was thinking, okay, what am I going to talk about? I don't want to be repetitive. I don't want to say the same thing that I did last year. I looked at what some of the other speakers were talking about, and it's kind of similar, right? I think this Mastermind this year, we're kicking off in a season of post-COVID real estate. And so a lot of people who started real estate did so in COVID, or they forgot because they weren't in real estate for very long before COVID. So we're going to bring it back to the basics because, and as Shireen will go over later, it takes grit. I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to go over the fundamentals. So 5 business basics that I live by. 1, lead generation. Who here learned about lead generation when they got their real estate license? There is nothing, I don't know what class you guys took, but I learned nothing about lead generating. I learned everything about the state, I didn't use any of it. But when you get out, you have to get the leads, you have to get business. And that's really hard. I just got a call yesterday from a guy who's a commercial appraiser, and he's like, Ashliey, I want to get my real estate license. I meet all of these people, and all my friends or family, they're buying and selling real estate. What should I do? I'm like, well, you want to do wholesale, so I don't think that's ethical. And also, that doesn't mean they're going to use you. Don't feel entitled to your friends and family's business if you haven't done it before. So when you get into real estate, you need to learn how to lead generate, and that's not always just your sphere. So this is super important because then you don't have a business. You don't have any real estate sales. You don't have commission. You don't have anything without first and foremost your leads. Something I was taught early on is when you do lead generating, it's really overwhelming, especially in this digital world. Luckily, when I started, or unluckily, there was no social media. So you didn't, Facebook, and you got 3 likes. There is no way to get access to anybody. There is no way to get exposure. You guys have an incredible vehicle today that you get to use. So that's also overwhelming because you have all the different platforms that you heard earlier. And then which one do you use? Because you can't master them all perfectly, right? So pick 3 and obsess over them. They can be open houses, door knocking, podcasting, paid leads. It can be mailers. It could be Google ads, social media, networking events, and your sphere. So when you pick those 3, you have to create an entire business plan around them. And I don't know if has anyone here heard of the 135?
Like GPS?
Yeah, it's from KW. And so the 135 is still something I use right now. And I do this with my team, and I say, okay, what are your goals? So that's number 1. And then the 3 pillars of how you're going to get to that goal. I want them to focus on the 3 lead generation. And then how are you going to get there? Okay, so let's say open house. That's actually how I built my business outside of working with investors. That's how I got in as a heavy listing agent, is I mastered open houses. I wanted the bougiest, best open houses you can imagine, and there's flags, 8-foot flags out front, there's balloons on every sign, there's champagne, there's treats, we get gelato carts. I make my agents pick that shit up and bring it all the way up to the units. I remember one time they were soaking wet. She had to throw her clothes in the dryer, and there was still the gelato cart. And she was sitting there in a towel from staging, waiting for her clothes to dry. But we mastered our open houses. And I still have some really big clients in Kahala to this day who gave me reviews and didn't even buy anything yet just because they were so impressed by the open house, the level of open house. So in that 5 section, 1, 3, 5, under open house, for example, you go through what open houses am I going to sit? Do I have a basic price line or a price point that I want to hit? Am I going to have a digital platform for people to sign in? How do you capture the leads? What's your follow-up system after? And you break down 5 very specific things that you're going to do to master the open house. If you're going to door knock, okay, what first step? You have to get your door knocking flyers. By the way, if you guys want, I have door knocking flyers that I use that I'm happy to share with you. Just send me a message and I'll do that. And I have pretty much anything that I'm saying to you guys. If you guys want, just message me. I'll give it to you. And then you have to pick out where you're going to door knock. Okay, how do you pick out where you're going to door knock? Well, you have to figure out the area, what's the turnover, how many days on market are there, what's the price point, is it close to where you are, do you have kids, you need to stay close by, do you have any other marketing that you're doing there? So then you break that down into 5 steps. So anyways, pick out your 3 pillars and live by it. Often I'll talk to agents and they're not doing enough business. I'm like, what are you doing? Well, I'm sitting open houses and I am doing Google leads or Zillow leads. Okay, we'll pick a 3rd and do it well. And you need your niche. Niche? Right. Pick one. Demographic, geographic, or property type. So your demographic, if you're VA, if you're first-time home buyer, if you're senior living, if you're investor, do it and do it really well. If you're geographic, which geographic's the easiest, I think. I don't do it, but I wish I did. But I'm too squirrel, so I like options. But man, geographic would be so easy because then you don't have to drive far, yeah? You can master your neighborhood, and then you can mail that neighborhood, and then you can door knock that neighborhood, and then you can host events in that neighborhood. So that's the ideal. If you live in an area or close by an area and you can do a geographic niche, you're not going to get everyone and anyone, but you're going to saturate that area. And everyone's going to think about you. And they're going to refer you people outside of that area as well. And then your property types. Sometimes you have condo queens. Sometimes you have multifamily gurus. Sometimes you have people who really love your teardowns. So you can focus on property types as well. And brand yourself. And I think the common misconception with branding yourself is people think that it has to be just their face or it has to be their name and it has to be something real estate related. But it could be about Oreos. It could be, mine's animals. What did Dylan say? That's what he thought about when he thought of me. Hippie and animals. So it could be anything. And all you have to do is get to know the person on the other side, often in a social media world, and you don't see each other face to face, but you feel like you bonded with somebody when they're watching your stories and they're watching your stuff. Right? And that's really special that we get that opportunity with people, but you do that by being personable. And often for me, I have a social media manager, so now it's real estate related, but for the long time, it was not. People are, do you even do real estate? I swear, I'll post about it. But brand yourself. The second foundational aspect is you got the leads, but now you got to convert the leads. And that's just as hard. So, obviously, if you get leads, you have to follow up and follow through. You sit in open house and you get leads at the end of the open house. When are you following up with them? Are you waiting until the following Monday after Sunday to touch base with them, or Tuesday? Are you just giving them a call and be like, well, they didn't answer? Or maybe they said, yeah, they have an agent and they're looking, but they're not too serious and they don't know their agent's name, right? You got to follow up. You know what? You studied the comps before you sat that open house, right? There is a property that is exactly what you're describing up the street. After I'm done with the open house at 5 o'clock, I'll be done probably around 5:30. Do you want to meet me there? Or, hey, let's go get dinner after we're done here and I can get you in contact with the lender and get you pre-approved. I'm going to do a group text while you're here right now. What's your phone number again? We use an app called Curb Hero for our open houses. I used to use Open Home Pro, and EXP also has a free version, but I like Curb Hero. And it is an electronic system, so we bring an iPad, and we print out a QR code, where our website is one QR code, and then Curb Hero is the other QR code. And on Curb Hero, it has the map and all the photos in the description, and it has the lender at the bottom of that. And when people sign in, you get a text notification, and now they have a direct line of communication with you as well. And they can text that number, it'll go to you. I love it. It is money, but again, you can use the free one at EXP until you have the money to do so. And then from there, you call them as soon as you leave, because then you're out of sight and out of mind. They don't care, they're all hyped. You know, we're instant gratification. So you gotta make sure you're in front of them right now and keep them excited on the vision. And you're not just going to show them a house, you're learning about them. You care about what's going on in their life. They have 3 kids, one of them is autistic, they have a dog. Okay, well, you know this one is by a good school, and this one has a yard, and you're like really, really invested in what they need and what they want. And so when you're following up with them, you put notes in Curb Hero or in your phone when they walk away. Guy in red shirt, kid was jumping all over the stuff, looking for X, Y, and Z. Now when you touch base with them, you have an action point. You can be like, oh, hey, how is your son? Is he feeling any better? Make it personal. Make them know that you care. When you call your clients, there is some, especially when you get into luxury listings and luxury clientele, they sit on market for a long time. So how do you get those people to continue and staying working with you? It's really, really complicated, and I don't know if you guys will be able to do this, but it's calling them once a week with an update, even a non-update update.
Wait, what was that? Can you repeat that? What was that?
You call them once a week. Hey, there's nothing to update you on. I just wanted to let you know. Have a good weekend. They love it. They will stick with you forever. All they want to know is that you're working and that you're not just getting paid big bucks for sitting there and looking pretty. If your clients close on a property, how many of you guys call your client the next day? Raise your hands. Oh, pick up the phone. How about week? Well, you're already with your client same day. You gave them keys and stuff like that, and you got them entry, and then the next day, hey, everything go okay when I left? How are you doing? What about the next week after week 1? Raise of hands. And then what about on the month anniversary? And do you continue touching them throughout the year appropriately? Make sure you're staying in touch with your clients. So the systems are key to that, right? But nothing is good as a good old phone call and a pop-by gift. So stop by, say hello, and contact them. If they're in contract or if they're Sphere, even if you just talked to them the day before, every Friday, they know they're gonna get a call from you. Even if they send you to voicemail, they just know that they're gonna get it, and that brings them comfort. Repeat and referral clients. So when we're talking about conversion, after 2 years in the business, you guys should have a pretty healthy pipeline of repeat and referrals in your business. And how you can do this is follow up and follow through, contact your clients all the time, but also educate your clients on how to become investors. Mom and pop, they don't have to become big investors, but how do they get financial freedom through real estate? Because a house is not an asset in itself. It is debt. You're not gaining income from that property until you sell it if it brings in equity. So you want to help your clients and educate them and inspire them and have those check-ins and have coffee with them maybe yearly. Check in with them. How are you liking the house? Well, it's been 2 years. If you want to sell, if you have enough money and or keep renting it out, maybe you can add in a wet bar here and you could house hack it, you could do this, and then we'll get you into something else because I know you've been dying to get to Kailua or something, or Hilo. So help your clients envision what they want and be a part of their journey and continue following up. And also they'll be like, wow, my realtor's so cool. Like, she knows so much, and they'll refer you people. Pop-by gifts. So I put a website here. This is a lady who works at EXP as well, and she's on the Icon panelist. And I do often the Icon panels with her, and she is a pop-by queen, and she gets all of her business through repeat and referral as well. And so she actually puts up all of her ideas for free on this website. So I just wanted to give that to you guys. Pop-by gifts is something that we do quarterly. If you can do it monthly, that's ideal. Not everyone has a budget. And then we have a VIP. Like personally, I have a certain number of clients who are my VIPs, and I do really special things for them. We go out to really nice dinners, or I get them something really nice. And VIPs are not necessarily people that you do a lot of transactions with. VIPs are your walking ambassadors as well. So those are people who are just your raving fans and will just continue referring you people, even if they don't ever buy themselves. The third foundational step is you got your leads, you're converting them. How do you scale and maintain it? Well, you need tools and systems. And I think everyone's kind of touched on them a bit here, but I'm just gonna go through, because I always wanna know what top producing agents are using. Like, I get the inspirational stuff, I love it. Give it to me. I listen to it every morning. But also, like, tell me exactly what it is. Like, I wanna know the exact thing that you're doing. Like, is it an Excel spreadsheet? Is it Google? Did you formulate your own? Are you using something outside of what EXP offers? So I do, and it's not rocket science. I operate almost everything on Google. Google Tasks, Google Calendar, Google Drive, yep. Google Meet, we do everything on Google. KV Core, Google what?
Slides.
Google Slides. That's how we got all these slides here. Did not fit with Canva, by the way, so if you're making your slides on Canva, you gotta convert them to fit on Google Slides. I learned that at 2 a.m. So, KV Core is an incredible vehicle for like next to nothing. Oh my gosh, it is so cheap. You can build an entire empire on KV Core. But it wasn't always as great as it is right now, and I had already moved to Follow Up Boss, so we use both. We put our leads in KV Core and Follow Up Boss. Follow Up Boss is kind of like the Apple of CRMs. KV Core is like the Android. You know, just pick and choose what you like. We want bubbly and easy, like keep it stupid. Like we don't want to think. And then we use MailChimp because I host a lot of events and we do a lot of community-oriented things for clients and realtors. We use MailChimp because we have different mailing lists for different things. And MailChimp has the best templates to be able to make really pretty and interactive email blasts. If you don't have a transaction manager, don't tell me. This is the number one thing that you should do if you are a brand new agent or if you're an experienced agent. It is $500, and the amount of energy that you put in to manage your transaction is taking away from your dreams, your big why, your bigger purpose, and servicing your clients, doing meetings. You should not be doing transaction management. That's just the silliest thing. It's a $500 job on average. So delegate that out. And if you are doing about $5 million or more in real estate, get a VA, a virtual assistant. If you're like, I can't afford it, I don't want to take that leap right now. I'm investing a lot in my leads. I'm investing a lot in branding. Just do it. Try it out for 3 months, 6 months. It takes a while. They take a lot of love and training. But a VA will elevate your business if you stick with them, and it helps you be a leader. It really helps you operate as a business and not just an independent agent who is doing sales between the beach and expecting to get family and friends business when they're at the barbecue. But actually operating as a business where the people that you're talking to, they know you actually deserve their business. And this VA will be holding you accountable. It'll teach you leadership skills to keep them inspired into your vision, and then also do all of the crap you don't want to do. So they'll help you scale, filter leads, formalize systems. I've had one of my VAs, I have 4, I have 3, and one of my VAs I have had for over half a decade. She is my brain. Literally, I'm like, what's this password? She could steal my identity and take all of my money. She does all of my bookkeeping. She does everything. I was like, I need you. Don't leave me. I will get her a visa if I need to. The other thing I did not put on here, or maybe it's in a different slide, but in case it's not, I don't want to forget, get a bookkeeper if you don't do your VA. I don't recommend having a VA do it, just so you know. But get a bookkeeper. People are like, oh, I got a CPA, One of my biggest lessons learned, and just a lot of people don't talk to you about taxes when you get into real estate, and they don't tell you you need to get your GET, and you got to pay it every month once you hit 6 figures or however much, and then they don't tell you how much to put aside. I put away 30% of all of my income into a separate bank account for taxes. I actually split my commission into 5 different bank accounts, but I won't get into that. One of them is for taxes, and I wish that I had learned, and I'm not gonna say that it was just last year, to hire a bookkeeper, because that will make your life 100% easier, and you probably would have saved a lot of money, and even if it's gonna cost you a couple $100 a month, do it. Community, someone 20? Community and mentorship, do it. And when I say mentorship, I mean go to meetings like this, go to the state broker meetings. Our brokers put a lot of effort into those meetings every other week. Attend them, there's really good stuff in there. Go to your local masterminds and mainland. Some of my biggest walking ambassadors are people and realtors that I met on the build events and the mainland events. Find someone who inspires you as a mentor and ask them questions. EXP has mentors, and that is a specific term built around it, but a real true mentor in your life and in your business doesn't have to be someone who handholds you and shows you every aspect of the business. It can be someone you call real quick for one piece of information, and it's a seed. You have to go water that seed. You have to go do something with that information. You're not going to make it if you're expecting someone to walk you through it. And that is a really great mentor to have in your life. And I will tell you, entitled agents or entitled people will not get as far because people don't want to pour into them. So whenever I meet someone, I'm always like, what can I do? How can I add them value? I never expect someone to give me their time if I don't have value to give them. And don't expect that in return as well. Try to put that in your mindset. Be a go-giver. Don't just expect. And then role play. Something that we do a lot is role playing. So scripts. I'm not a script person, but they can help, especially with new agents, but we role play. Hey, what are you guys seeing in the open houses right now? Oh, it's the interest rates or whatever it might be. Okay, at the end of the meeting, we pretend that we're a buyer walking into the house, and then we have the realtor, and then we're like, I don't know, interest rates are a bazillion%. I don't want to right now. And then the other person's like, well, how much are you paying in rent? And then you get comfortable with the objections. So make sure you're role playing. If you don't have anybody, call me or call Dylan. He loves to take your calls. Accountability and management. I'll be quick here. Journal and vision. I told you I like to know what people are doing with their day, and I like to know what people are doing to be successful. I journal religiously every morning and every night. I have a very specific journal. I've used a bunch. If you guys want the one I'm referring to, message me and I can get you it, I think. But it gives you what you're grateful for. It gives you what you absolutely have to do that day, but then it gives you a morning and evening memo and then important meetings that you had, memories that you had for that moment. Because it's business and personal, and I'm all about balance, right? I'm a single mom. I have to be home to pick up my kid. I have to go sit there into a hot jiu-jitsu gym for 2 hours and watch everyone sweat. So, balance, right? And vision. You gotta have vision. You gotta know what you're doing and why. Everyone here will tell you about your why. And you've got to figure that out. And your why has to bring you to your knees. You're not like, oh, I just want to be financially free. Oh, I want to take care of my kids. Like, yeah, there's something bigger there. Like, why? Maybe it's a I don't know. Go figure it out. Ask yourself 7 times, though. Exercise. Do as I say, not as I do. It'll help with your mental health a lot. Time block versus energy block. We all hear about time blocking, right? Well, something that I heard recently is energy blocking. And this is more in line with me as a hippie. So I time block like crazy, but I'm no Dylan, right? So it only gets me so far. But energy blocking is where I know I'm my peak energy during these days. If you're a woman, my peak weeks this month. And you prep yourself, you set yourself up for success to do your highest income producing tasks during that time. Then you go do something that resets you. Like whether that is you're gonna go stretch, or you're gonna go for a walk, or you're gonna go just stare at a tree, I don't know, eat food. Do something that just resets you, and then you can go back, and that way you have your energy back. But you have to time block that and not feel guilty about it. Color code your calendar, get an accountability partner, look at your routine. Oh, I did have it right there. I didn't forget. This is an example of how we time block and color code our calendars within our team. So we have income producing tasks are green, because of money. Yellow are things, for me as a team leader, this is more based off of me, for things that I could delegate to someone else. So whenever I see a lot of yellow in my calendar, I've got to think, okay, how can I delegate that to someone else? Purple is working on the business, then networking and PR, and then my bottom ones, if you can see it, it's reminders, personal, and holidays. I'll leave you with these books. I love these books. They're not all business-related books, but the 7 Powers of Questions, the Checklist Manifesto, and the Body Language book, those helped me so much in my younger years in how to have conversation and carry conversation with people. The Checklist Manifesto is gold. Hope this helps. Thank you guys for putting this together. If you want to connect, information.